Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And today we're looking at textile, leather, and footwear research. Where fashion meets science. We've got a career guide and an interview guide from RoleCatcher. So let's just dive right in.
Yeah, it's such a cool field, and it's changing so quickly. It blends creativity and science so well, and that's what I find fascinating.
Okay, so let's unpack this career. Let's say you're in an interview and they ask, what exactly does a textile, leather, and footwear researcher DO?
Yeah.
How would you even answer that?
Well, you don't want to bore them with a list of tasks, right? You really want to focus on the impact. So you could say something like, I investigate how materials work, like at a microscopic level, so we can create better, stronger, more sustainable products. That kind of shows you get the big picture and, all about trends like sustainability.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And speaking of the big picture, this career guide mentions all these different work environments. So it's not just labs, right?
No, not at all. It could be an office working with designers or even traveling to conferences. Oh, and the career guide even mentions some researchers are involved in like cutting edge stuff like smart fabrics and 3D printed footwear.
Wow, that's so cool. All right, let's look at the interview guide. There are 10 sample questions. So let's start with this classic. What sparked your interest in this field?
All right, so this is where you get to show some passion, but also connect it to something specific within the field. Like maybe you're fascinated by bio-based materials. You could talk about wanting to contribute to a more sustainable fashion industry.
Right, so instead of just saying, I love fashion,
Yeah,
you're giving a more specific area.
exactly. And, they might ask follow-up questions, so be prepared to elaborate.
Good point. Okay, here's another one. What specific skills or experiences do you have that make you a good fit for this role? I think a lot of people would freeze up at that one, especially if they haven't worked in the industry.
Yeah, and this is where you want to highlight transferable skills. Think about past experiences even outside of textiles. Have you led a research project, managed a team, come up with a new method for analyzing data? All those skills are valuable.
So even if I've never worked with leather specifically, I could talk about a project where I tested the durability of materials.
Exactly. And be sure to quantify your achievements. Instead of saying, I improved a process, say, I developed a new testing method that reduced errors by 15%. Numbers sound more impressive and memorable.
Right? And this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be so helpful. It can analyze the job description and suggest skills to highlight based on the company's needs.
That's right. It can even help you tailor your language to match the job description to make your application even stronger.
Oh, wow. It's like having a career coach in your pocket. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on to question 3. How do you stay up to date on the latest trends and innovations in the textile, leather, and footwear industry? Mhm. Most people would probably just default to fashion magazines.
Yeah, go beyond that.
Yeah.
Mention industry-specific publications like the Journal of Textile Science and Engineering or Leather International. Conferences are good too, like the Materials Research Society meetings. Even following thought leaders on social media can be good.
It's about showing you're actively engaged and not just a passive observer.
Exactly. You can even mention specific trends that excite you, like maybe the development of biodegradable textiles,
Now,
or using 3D printing in footwear design.
yeah, that's really cool. And actually, RoleCatcher's AI can be helpful here too. It can find relevant publications, conferences, and people to follow based on the job you're applying for.
Right, and that shows you've done your research and you're genuinely interested in the company and the industry. That can give you a real edge. All right, let's move on to a question that really gets into how you think. How do you approach research projects and what steps do you take to ensure accuracy and rigor in your work?
Yeah, that one feels like they're trying to see how your brain works.
It is. You want to walk them through your whole process, from defining the research question to designing experiments, collecting data, and analyzing results. Oh, and be sure to mention any quality control measures you use, like double-checking calculations or having colleagues review your work.
So it's about showing your process and attention to detail, which is super important for research.
Exactly, and don't be afraid to mention any challenges you faced in past projects and how you overcame them.
Yeah, that shows you're a problem solver. Okay, here's one that always seems to come up. What do you consider to be the most pressing issues facing the textile, leather, and footwear industry today, and how would you go about addressing them?
This one requires some industry knowledge. The career guide highlights a few key areas like sustainability and ethical sourcing.
Right, like the growing demand for eco-friendly materials and transparency in the supply chain.
Exactly. You could talk about bio-based materials reducing reliance on petroleum, or discuss innovative manufacturing processes that minimize waste.
What if they asked for specific examples?
Be ready to mention specific technologies or initiatives, things relevant to the company or the role you're applying for. For example, if they're focused on sustainable footwear, you could mention using recycled materials, or even 3D printing to make more durable and eco-friendly shoes.
So you're not just aware of the issues, but you're thinking about solutions. And this is another spot where RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful.
Absolutely. It can analyze the company's website and recent news articles, and then it can identify the specific issues that are most important to them.
Wow, so you can tailor your answer to show you understand their priorities.
Right, and how your skills can help address those challenges.
Okay, let's move on to another one. This one's about stakeholder management. How do you approach stakeholder management? And what strategies do you use to build and maintain strong relationships with key stakeholders?
Okay, so this is all about your people skills and how you navigate those complex working relationships. Think about how you've collaborated with others in the past.
Like working with professors, classmates, or colleagues on projects.
Exactly. You want to highlight your communication skills, consensus building, and finding common ground. Give specific examples of how you've managed those relationships successfully.
So it's about showing you can work effectively with different personalities and perspectives.
Right. And remember, stakeholders can be anyone from designers and manufacturers to suppliers and retailers. Show that you understand those different roles.
This is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can help tailor your answers.
You got it. It can analyze the company's structure and identify their key stakeholders.
So you can personalize your response and show you've done your homework.
Exactly.
Okay, next question. It's about your accomplishments. What do you consider to be your greatest accomplishment as a textile, leather, and footwear researcher, and why?
All right, so choose an accomplishment that shows off your skills and expertise, but it should also align with the company's values. If they're all about innovation, talk about a time you developed a new process or technology. If it's sustainability, highlight a project that made a product more eco-friendly.
So tailor your answer to their interests.
Yes. And don't forget to explain why you consider it your greatest accomplishment. What were the challenges? What impact did you have?
Tell the story behind it. Okay, how about this one? How do you approach working with cross-functional teams, and what strategies do you use to ensure effective collaboration and communication?
Teamwork. This question's all about that. Highlight your ability to build rapport, listen, and communicate clearly with people from different backgrounds.
The career guide talks about how textile research often involves working with designers, engineers, and scientists from different disciplines.
Exactly. So you could talk about how you've adapted your communication style to work with different people, or maybe how you've handled conflicts within a team.
Right, you're a team player.
Right. And RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze your past work experience, and then it can find specific examples of successful teamwork that would impress this company.
Wow, like a highlight reel of your teamwork skills.
Exactly.
Okay, another question. How do you approach managing multiple projects simultaneously? And what strategies do you use to prioritize tasks and meet deadlines?
This one is all about organization and handling pressure. Focus on your strategies for prioritization, time management, and communication.
So like a project management system or breaking down big tasks.
Exactly. You want to show you have a structured approach to managing your workload. Show them you can juggle multiple things without dropping the ball.
And I bet RoleCatcher's AI can analyze the job description here.
Of course. It can identify the specific time management skills that are most important for the role.
And you can tailor your answer.
Exactly. It can even suggest software or tools that the company might be using.
Oh, so you can show you're familiar with their setup.
Exactly.
Okay, last question from the interview guide. How do you approach problem solving? And what strategies do you use to identify and address complex issues?
This one lets you showcase your analytical skills and critical thinking. Walk them through your thought process, from defining the problem to gathering information and considering different approaches.
You're a thinker, not just a follower.
Right. You can mention specific problem-solving techniques that you use, like root cause analysis, brainstorming, or data-driven decision-making.
It shows you have a structured approach to tackling complex issues.
And again, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your past experiences and then find specific examples of successful problem-solving that would be relevant to this company and this role.
So you can give concrete examples instead of just talking about it generally.
Right. It shows you can actually put those skills into practice.
Wow, we really dug into those interview questions. Hopefully everyone listening feels ready to tackle those.
Absolutely. And, practice makes perfect. RoleCatcher's AI-powered interview practice tool can really help you out. You can record your answers and get feedback on everything, like your delivery and even your body language.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. It's like having a coach right there with you. But even with all that practice, you need a good foundation. So what about education? What should someone interested in this field be studying?
Well, usually you'll need a bachelor's degree in something related, like material science, chemistry, or engineering. The career guide actually lists out specific courses that are really helpful, like textile science, polymer chemistry, oh, and even things like fashion design principles.
So you're learning the science, but also the design side of things.
Right. And if you want to specialize or move into leadership, a master's or doctoral degree can help. Some schools even have special programs in textile engineering or leather technology.
That's great. And what about practical experience? The career guide mentions internships, right?
Yes, internships are a fantastic way to get experience. You can build your network and see what it's like to work in a research lab or a company. The guide even suggests reaching out to professors or people in the industry to see about research collaborations.
So it's about being proactive.
Yeah.
And I bet RoleCatcher can help here too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Their AI can find internships based on your skills and interests. It can even help you tailor your application for certain companies.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've talked about education and experience, but what about the different career paths? Where can this research lead you?
There are so many options. The career guide lists roles like textile technologists, leather chemists, footwear designers, sustainability consultants. It really just depends what you're interested in.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you could focus on developing new materials or improving manufacturing processes, or maybe researching the environmental impact of textile production. There are also jobs in quality control, product development, and technical sales.
It's amazing how many options there are. And RoleCatcher's Career Compass tool can help you explore those paths. You put in your skills and interests, and it gives you a personalized roadmap.
Yeah, it's a great way to visualize your future and set goals. Before we wrap up, I think we should talk about the impact you can have in this career.
That's what I love about it. Textile, leather, and footwear researchers are at the forefront of innovation. They're making materials more sustainable, developing eco-friendly manufacturing, and finding ways to reduce the impact of fashion on the environment.
It's a field where you can really make a difference. You could help develop biodegradable textiles or footwear that minimizes waste, or even smart fabrics that can improve people's lives.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a career that's intellectually stimulating and can make a real impact, this could be the perfect fit.
Absolutely, and RoleCatcher is there to help you every step of the way. They have the tools and resources you need to land that dream job.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We hope you feel prepared and inspired to take the next step in your career journey. Good luck out there, everyone.